Hello, this is Sheshachalam from Astroguide Mysore. So today let us discuss Sreenatha Yoga. This is a very, a yoga which is very easily defined. But the peculiarity of this yoga is that the yoga confines to only one ascendant. And how that is possible, and why is it that this yoga has been defined as though it is generally applicable to everybody? Because when the definition of the yoga was done, it should have been very clearly specified in the yoga's definition that it is only pertaining to that particular ascendant, but it is not like that. So let us go into the yoga, Sreenatha Yoga. The seventh Lord should be exalted in the 10th house, and it should be conjunct with the ninth Lord. So now let us go into the ascendants and understand where the seventh Lord gets exalted. For the Mesha Lagna, that is Aries, the seventh Lord is Venus, and it gets exalted in the 12th house from Aries. So it's not applicable. For Taurus, the seventh Lord is Mars, it gets exalted in the 9th house. Again, not applicable. For Gemini, the seventh Lord is Jupiter, it gets exalted in the 2nd house. Some other Raj Yoga is applicable there. Dhana Yoga. For Cancer, the seventh Lord is Saturn, it gets exalted in the 4th house, giving rise to Sasamaha Yoga, Panchamahapurusha Yoga, Sasa Yoga. For Leo, the seventh Lord is Saturn, again gets exalted in the 3rd house, giving rise to Parakrama Yoga. Excellent, forceful yoga, but it is not Sreenatha Yoga. Coming to Virgo, the seventh Lord is Jupiter, gets exalted in the 11th house, once again not the 10th. To Libra, the seventh Lord is Mars, gets exalted in the 4th house, giving rise to Ruchaka Yoga. So I am talking about all the placement of exaltation of the seventh Lords for every given Lagna. So going to Scorpio, the seventh Lord is Venus, gets exalted in the 5th house, giving rise to an artistic temperament, a voracious reader, excellent placement, but not Sreenatha Yoga. Now coming to Sagittarius, here the seventh Lord is Mercury, and it gets exalted in the 10th house. And if it is also giving rise to Buddha Aditya Yoga, that is the 9th Lord Sun getting conjunct in the 10th house along with the 10th Lord and the 7th Lord, which is Mercury, then Sreenatha Yoga forms only for Sagittarius. But let us see the other three, Rashis and their Lagnas. For Capricorn, the 7th Lord is Moon, it gets exalted in the 5th house. Beautiful exaltation for Capricorn, but it is not Sreenatha Yoga. For Aquarius, the 7th Lord is Sun, gets exalted in the 3rd house, giving rise to a courageous yoga. These people will be fully motivated to do great things in life, but that is not Sreenatha Yoga. For Pisces, the 7th Lord is Mercury, and it gets exalted in the 7th house, giving rise to Bhadra Yoga. One of the Panchamahapurusha Yogas, very strong for the Piscean, because it is the 4th and the 7th Lord in the 7th house being exalted. So now this Sreenatha Yoga is applicable as per the verbatim. The 7th Lord exalted in the 10th house, conjunct the 9th Lord, can only is applicable or is only feasible to Sagittarius. Let us talk about the alterations of this yoga after this. So this yoga will give divine looks to the person. He will be a pious, good and well-spoken personality, will have excellent spouse of good virtue, and will have worthy children. Who doesn't want this yoga? Everybody wants this yoga. Will have a good social status and will be recognized in the society for his achievements. Everybody want this yoga. The problem is, as per the definition, it is not applicable or doesn't fit into any ascendant. So let us understand the transformation. The more important factor here, let us keep the exaltation point aside. Very important. Let us keep this ascendant point aside. Let us take the seventh lord, put it in the 10th house along with the ninth lord for every ascendant and see whether it is beneficially posited now. For Aries, I'll be taking Venus, putting it in the 10th house in Makara Rashi, that is Capricorn, along with the ninth lord Jupiter. Dviguru Yoga. Fantastically placed Venus is as good as exaltation that the Lagna Lord, for Aries, not the Lagna Lord. For Aries, the 10th house is Capricorn and the 7th Lord Venus being posited in the 10th house in its own friend's house, best friend's house. So if it is not exalted, it is Pramudita Avastha or Mudita Avastha, where Venus is very well posited along with another wise planet, the planet of wisdom, Jupiter. It should give rise to one of the strongest yogas. So, going to Taurus, the 7th Lord is Mars, and if it is placed in the 10th house, in the sign of Aquarius, along with Saturn, a sort of Sreenatha Yoga should get formed. And if I go to Gemini, the 7th Lord is Jupiter, and if it is posited in the 10th house, giving rise to Hamsa Yoga, Panchamaha Yoga, and along with Saturn in the 10th house, I usually consider this particular placement as a beautiful placement for a person who can be a very good manager, person who can manage material, men and machines. So he is an excellent, manager of operations. So arbitrarily taking other ascendants, if I am going to the Capricorn and if I take the 7th Lord Moon, put it in the 10th house, along with the ninth Lord Mercury, that gives a fantastic yoga because Mercury, being the ninth Lord, going its friend's house, and along with Moon, makes the person an extraordinary thinker, a planner. So let us not restrict ourselves to the fact that this yoga has been defined only for Sagittarius. Let us broaden the fact by relaxing some of the qualities like being exalted, the 7th Lord being exalted. So let us simply place the 7th Lord in the 10th house along with the ninth Lord, which will give rise to one of the strongest yogas for any given chart. There might be ups and downs because of their dual lordship, because it might also be the 6th Lord, or it might also be the 8th Lord, or it might be, the 3rd Lord and the 2nd Lord. It might be anything like that. No, it cannot be the 3rd Lord and the 2nd Lord. In the sense that when I am talking about Virgo's ascendant, it can be the 4th and the 7th Lord. So, the lordships can change. Like, for example, in Karkataka Rashi, Karkataka Lagna, Cancer Lagna, the 7th Lord is Saturn, which is also the 8th Lord. So, it also becomes the Trix Sthana Adhipati, 6, 8, 12. So, let us not go into the intricacies of how the yoga fails, but let us understand first how the yoga is constructed and how the yoga comes into play. So, when a Kendra Sthanadipati, a strong Kendra Sthanadipati, the 7th Lord, why is the 7th Lord taken into consideration here is because it is the 10th from the 10th. Bhavat Bhava principle, taking the 7th Lord, putting it back into the 10th house gives rise to a complete cycle of the Bhavat Bhava. That is, the 7th Lord fortifies the 10th house when it is sitting there, along with Bhagya Sthana Adhipati, that is the 9th Lord. So the Lord of Fortune and Luck is along with the Lord of Business and Transactions, and both are sitting in the Lord of Action and Deeds. That is the house of action and deeds. That is the 10th house. An excellent placement, and this is Sreenatha Yoga. And this is a huge Raja Yoga which will give wealth beyond expectations, and a rare yoga for Sagittarius, which if it happens, that person will be blessed. So thank you very much for today's class.